In this video, we're going to talk about statistics. We're going to start talking about measures of center. So to describe typical values in a data set, statisticians use measures of center. Okay, or sometimes called central tendency. All right, so our three measures are mean, median, and mode, and you've probably heard of these. First, mean, another word for average. To find the average, you find the sum of all of the values and then divide by how many values there are. The median is the middle value, or the mean of the two middle values, if there's two middle values, when the data is arranged in numerical order. Last is mode. The mode is the number that occurs most. A mode, there can be zero modes if there's no numbers that are repeated more than once. You can have one mode, or you could have more than one. You could have two or three modes if there's two or more that have the same amount, but it's the most amount. So let's do an example. All right, if Maria earned the following scores on her math test, find the mean, median, and mode to describe her typical score. So for the mean, we're going to add the values up. And we're going to divide by how many there are. We have 6 data points, so we're going to divide by 6. This gets me 73.8 as her mean score. Median, what we're going to need to do is line them up from smallest to biggest. So that'll be 62, 65, 70, 73, 85, and 88. To get to the middle then, we'll take off the first and the last, next two, so that leaves me with 2 middle points in this case. So my median is going to be the average of those two, which is 71.5. And for the mode, there's no number that repeats. So in this case, we have no modes. Okay, so which measure of central tendency is best? Really, either the mean or the median would work in this case. There's an argument for both. Later on in this unit, we'll have a better way of deciding which of these is a better descriptor of the central tendency. All right, time to pause and try this one. All right, so our mean, when we add them up and divide by the 11 data points there are, we get 72.8. The median, when we cross off from both sides, we're left with just one middle term. So our median is 75, and there is 2 75s, and that's the only repeating term. This one, I would pick the median because this 45 is kind of different than the rest of these values. So it would probably bring the mean down. But again, we'll have better ways of determining that later on. Okay. A percentile is a measure that tells what percent of data in a set is below a specific value in a set. So it kind of gives you an idea of a location of a particular data point in a set of data. Okay, so it's going to be the number of values below the chosen element divided by the number of elements. Okay, so we'll do an example with this. The table shows the number of canned goods collected from different homerooms at Lincoln High School during a charity food drive. Find the percentile rank of Mrs. Clark's homeroom. So here's our procedure. First, we're going to arrange these values from least to greatest. Okay, once we have them listed in order, to find the percentile rank, so Mrs. Clark's 151, so this is her data point. So we count the number that are below that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 below that. Out of, there's a total of 10 here. So we'd say that Mrs. Clark is in the 60th percentile. Your turn to try the walkathon. So we put the data in numerical order. Then we're looking at different data points. So Lucinda had 15 laps. So when we put them in order, there are no data points below her number, which means they're 0 out of 10, so she's the 0th percentile. Ainsley's 30, so she's up here. There are 7 below that, so 70th percentile. Hazel, 22, 2 below that, so 20th. And then Abram, 29 here. So notice you can get 90th percentile, but you could never get the 100th percentile because even if you were the first one here, there's still 9 below you. So in this case, you'd be in the 90th percentile. So those are measures of center.